Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Sports Medicine, offering services for sports injury and recovery, with physicians and athletic trainers who provide treatment for fractures, dislocations, sprains, strains, and other sports-related issues. More information on services at stalphonsus.org. Love Boise State Public Radio podcasts? They are free to enjoy, but not free to produce. If you can give, your support helps keep shows like Idaho Matters and Scandalize available to everyone. Donate now at boisestatepublicradio.org.
It's The Connector, Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. Happy Friday. I'm Troy Oppie. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with us. Here are this morning's headlines. A new water curtailment order will affect junior rights holders in the eastern Snake River Plain. A challenge to a Republican incumbent's registered voter address has been denied. And why folks will be looking up in Mountain Home this weekend. First, on this Friday, we go to the state capitol, where the state of Idaho will remember former Governor Dirk Kempthorne this morning before his public funeral tomorrow. Our James Dawson reports on how Idahoans can pay their respects.
Kempthorne's casket will arrive at the Idaho Capitol in Boise Friday at 10 a.m. It'll be met with a 19-gun salute by members of the Idaho National Guard and Idaho State Police, along with a flyover by an A-10 Warthog. A short ceremony will follow on the first floor of the Capitol Rotunda, wrapping up around 11 a.m. Members of the public are invited to attend the ceremony or pay their respects while Kempthorne lies in state until Saturday morning. His body will then be transferred to the nearby Cathedral of the Rockies for an 11 a.m. funeral before being laid to rest at the Idaho State Veterans Cemetery. Kempthorne died last month at 74 after a long battle with cancer. A ceremony will be held in Washington, D.C. at a later date. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
Flags across the state will return to full mast sunrise on Sunday. A dispute over Ada County Commissioner Ryan Davidson's registered address will not affect his ability to run for re-election. A GOP primary challenger Holly Cook had filed a formal complaint with the Ada County Clerk's office over Davidson's registered address, which is a vacant lot in Garden City. Davidson still receives mail at the address. He lives in a residence next door and says he intends to build on the property where there was a mobile home previously, according to reporting for the Idaho Statesman. The county clerk's office told the Statesman a review, which included the county prosecutor and secretary of state's offices, has concluded Davidson's candidacy is not affected and denied the challenge from his opponent. The sole occupant of a helicopter was able to walk away and refused medical treatment following a crash yesterday afternoon at the Twin Falls Regional Airport. The city, in a news release, says the crash happened at the west end of the tarmac and did not involve any other aircraft. The National Transportation Safety Board will investigate. Wednesday's brush fire near King Hill, not far from Glens Ferry, thought to have started when a semi-truck rolled over in high winds on Interstate 84, is officially under control. The Bureau of Land Management announced the Pasadena Valley Fire reached more than 1,700 acres and impacted some power poles and lines in the area. No evacuations were needed. The official cause remains undetermined. They're waiting for the completion of an investigation. Stanley residents will experience multiple days of a temporary citywide power outage next week as power poles in town are replaced throughout the Salmon River corridor. The Salmon River Electric Co-op says outages are planned between the Holman Creek area and Galena and Banner Summits starting Monday at 8 a.m. The SREC says power will be restored each day at 4 p.m. Work is expected to last through Thursday. Helicopters are flying in poles that could delay or extend the project if weather grounds air travel. Mountain Village says it will have power throughout the outage for some food service and gasoline pump operation. Custer County has also confirmed the polling location for Tuesday's primary election will be up and running at the Stanley Community Center. 5 years after buying it, the city of Eagle will sell the historic Orville Jackson House. The Eagle City Council approved that move at a meeting this week after a previous analysis found the home needed over $250,000 in renovations. The property is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and cannot be altered or torn down. Eagle Museum Director Alana Dunn had previously called the home, quote, a beloved icon, and said it was important for the city to own. KIVI Television reports Eagle City Council members this week says the city just doesn't have the money to deal with the historic residence. Councilors unanimously approved a deed-restricted sale, with the lot split in an undeveloped section of the property retained by the city for future parking and specific limits on what a buyer could do with the residence. The Orville-Jackson house will have to be sold at a public auction, according to the city's attorney. Junior water rights holders for groundwater on the eastern Snake River Plain aquifer are now having their use restricted if they have not joined the 2024 Water Use Mitigation Plan. Idaho Department of Water Resources says the curtailment order is in response to a predicted 181,000 acre-foot shortfall expected to hit the American Falls Reservoir District and Twin Falls Canal Company. The order affects users in groundwater districts on the East Snake River Plain from just west of Henry's Fork west to nearly Glens Ferry. That includes communities of Pocatello, Arco, Burley, Jerome, and Gooding, as well as the Twin Falls area north of the Snake River. The water supply and curtailment orders will be reviewed again in July, according to a news release from IDWR. It will be a busy weekend in Mountain Home as the Air Force Base hosts Gunfighter Skies 26, a two-day air show headlined by the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds. Gates open tomorrow and Sunday at 9 a.m. Air show events begin at 11 a.m. The event is free, large crowds are expected, and that could create some traffic struggles around the base and the city of Mountain Home through the weekend, as well as on Interstate 84 during peak travel times. A couple of sports notes before we go. Fresh off a win Wednesday, Athletic Club Boise will host its first ever USL Cup match tomorrow, welcoming Monterey Bay FC into AC Boise Stadium at Expo, Idaho. The USL Cup Series is a cross-league competition between USL League One teams like Boise and the higher-tier USL Championship League. Boise won its first cup match earlier this season in a shootout over Las Vegas. Kickoff Saturday in Boise is at 7 p.m. Idaho State softball, meanwhile, gets its first ever NCAA tournament game this evening. The Bengals in regional action with the Universities of Oregon, St. Mary's, and Mississippi State. The tournament at this stage is a double elimination format. The games are being played in Eugene. ISU lost by 1 run in extra innings against the Ducks early in the regular season. Tonight's game begins at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. You can watch it on cable network ESPN2. And that's your Connector on this Friday, May 15th. Hope you have a wonderful weekend in store. We'll be back with you again on Monday. I'm Troy Oppie. Our news director is Sasha Woodruff. Our digital strategy manager is Lacey Daly. Our general manager at Boise State Public Radio is Tom Michael.
You know, every day on Up First, NPR's Golden Globe-nominated morning news podcast, we bring you 3 essential stories. At the heart of each story are questions. What really happened? What really mattered? What happens next? At NPR, we stand for your right to be curious and to follow the facts. Follow Up First wherever you get your podcasts and start your day knowing what matters and why.